Probably 2 or 3 more minutes and we'll get started. Can you ping your friends? Otherwise, can you put in your groups, personal groups?
Good morning, sir.
Morning. See you. Probably wait for 2 more minutes. We'll get started. So shall we wait or get started? What do you say?
Let everyone join, sir.
Okay, we'll wait for 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes. See how many will come up. I think now
Sir,
there are 25.
we are intimating
Yeah, okay, okay.
in the
So
group.
we'll wait. Okay, we'll wait.
So, which edition of Kodandaraman workbook you are using? I mean, data book.
I think I try to refer to the sixth edition that everyone has a soft copy. But if you have any other editions, it should be fine. You can find
So,
it.
I
I
have
mean, if
a
you,
ninth edition sir, in my hand.
it's not a problem. You can find it. Page numbers may be different, but if you look at the contents page, I think you should get to that page in
Yes,
whatever
sir. Yes, sir.
edition it is. Okay, because I
Yes, sir.
don't know what the examination cell is going to give you, which edition. Because in I think during exams, the examination cell will provide you the e-transfer books. Probably you are also supposed to carry. I am not clear on that. So, but whatever edition, if you look at the contents page, I think you should get that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So maybe we'll wait for a few more minutes. I think only 36 are there. So are we expecting more? Okay, 37.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll wait maybe more 2 3 minutes.
Sir, this Kothandaraman book is useful.
I think any basic heat transfer book will do for your course actually.
Okay.
Okay, any book will do. There are many books, right? Sachdeva, P.K. Nag, Kodandaraman. If you're looking for some reference book, then
R.K.
it is different
Rajput.
story. Yeah, RK Rajput will also do. But if you're looking for some reference or preparing for some other exams, then you may have to look for other options. Otherwise, all these books are good enough.
So for the semester purpose, RK Rajput is good.
Yeah, anything is good enough. I think any book will do. Any book on heat transfer will do. RK Rajput, Sachdeva, or PK Nath, Kodandaraman, or any book will do for that. So we wait till 11:10, then we'll get started. Okay. I think 3 more minutes to 11:10. Then I think we'll get
Always.
started. Okay, maybe 3 more minutes. Good morning.
Sir,
Yes.
by seeing the question, can you
Yeah.
please explain how to approach the question, how to solve it?
Yeah, sure. We'll do that in this session. I'll go step by step. I'll try
Sure,
to
sir.
slowly. I will go through the question so that you get how to solve the question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll
Thank
do
you.
it slowly.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
so can you give me some basic inputs, sir? That's why we can understand very easily.
What do you mean by basic inputs?
Which means where we have to take specified parameters like CP,
Yeah,
FG value.
we'll discuss it here. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I'll try to break it down as simple as possible.
Sure, sir.
So
Okay.
thank you, sir.
So there are about 44, I guess, now. So maybe I hope some more may join in time. So we'll get started. Okay. Shall we get started? Okay. So I hope it's an interactive thing, not like one way. If I ask something, someone can answer. If you have doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, it's one way. It's difficult for me to understand whether you are understanding it or not. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's get started. So this is the same numerical example as your assignment 5 problem. So what is given? So first we have to break the question. So we'll go through the question carefully. Look, what is the given input? That will help us to solve the problem, right? So what is given is we have a vertical rod, right? What we have here, we have a vertical rod whose diameter is given, outer diameter is given, and length of the rod is given, okay? And also it is given that it is maintained at a constant surface temperature, okay? What is given? It's maintained at a constant surface temperature of 100 degrees centigrade, okay, using electrical heater, okay. So the input to the electrical heater is given in terms of the current and voltage, okay. I think it's flipped. So 250 volts and 3 amperes is the heater input given, okay. And also the ambient temperature is given as 20, that is the temperature of the air surrounding the vertical rod is 20 degrees centigrade. So what we have to estimate here is we have to estimate the heat transfer coefficient using empirical correlations and also compare your heat transfer coefficient with experimental values. Okay, so this is the given thing. So first we will try to analyze the problem. So what is given? So the first step, what we have to do whenever a problem is there, irrespective of the heat transfer or any other subject, or maybe any problem you come across in a day-to-day life, the first objective is to, if you can pictorially represent it, it will solve you half of the problem is solved actually. So the first step is, let's draw the pictorial representation of what is given in the question. So what is given? A vertical rod is given. So we draw a vertical rod. This diameter is given. So we represent the diameter. The length is given. Okay. So you can improve the diagram here. It says that the electrical heater is used. So you can also draw a heater if you want. You draw a heater here. Okay. We kind of draw a heater somewhere inside. Okay, so we draw a heater. So for the heater, the input to the heater is given. You can draw the V and I here, as we have done here, and give the values of V and I. And what else is given? It's also given that it's maintained at a constant surface temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, the surface temperature of the wall is 100 degrees centigrade, and the ambient temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. So first of all, we have to think on which mode of heat transfer it falls. So what is the mode of heat transfer here? There is heat transfer from a solid surface to a fluid, which is nothing but air. So there is a heat transfer from the solid surface to the air. So there is convection here, right? The mode of heat transfer here is convection. So first thing we know here is it is due to convection. But which convection it is? Is it free or forced convection? So what do you say? Is any data given like there is flow of air over it? No, right? There is no flow of air given in the question anywhere. Yes or no? Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing but this is free or natural convection. Right? So you may even improve the diagram. You can draw the gravity also acting downwards. Okay. You can draw the G's acting downwards. Okay. So this is what is given. So is the question clear first of all to everyone? We have a vertical rod. So it is vertical, it's not horizontal. So the characteristic length will be your length. Okay. The length of the rod will be the characteristic length here. And the dia is given. The constant temperature of the surface is given to be 100 degrees centigrade. It is maintained using a heater whose inputs are given by 3 amperes and voltage of 250 watts. And there is no flow given, so we can come to know that this is free or natural convection. Okay, so this is all the data given, so we can find the Q experimental, right? The Q input is nothing but V into I. So this is similar to the natural convection experiment you have done in a laboratory. There you have found the temperatures along the length of the tube, and there you took the average value. But instead the average value here, the surface temperature at a given location is given as 100 degrees centigrade. Okay. So this is your Q input is given. You know it is free convection for a vertical rod. So this much we know, right? So whenever we talk about free convection, the first thing we have to look is for the Grashof number value. Okay, the Grashof number and Prandtl number value. So to find that, we need the properties of air. So where do we find the properties of air? At what temperature? We find the properties of the air at the film temperature. The film temperature is nothing but the average of the surface and the ambient temperature. Okay. So what we do is we find the properties of the air, because the surrounding fluid here is air. So that is nothing but the film temperature is average of the surface temperature and the ambient temperature. That is nothing but 60 degrees centigrade. So at 60 degrees centigrade, we are supposed to find the thermophysical properties of air from data book. So if you open the contents of your data book, you'll see property values. Okay, under property values, you have to look for vapors and gases. So once you go to the corresponding page in your data book, whichever edition you are using, okay, go to the contents page, look for property values. Under property values, look for gases and vapors. Okay. So here in 6th edition, it's in 33rd page. So at 60 degrees centigrade, that is at the film temperature, which is average of surface and ambient temperature, we find the properties. So we find the properties at 60 degrees centigrade for air. So the properties are given, the density is given, the viscosity is given, thermal conductivity is given, the Prandtl number values are given. So I hope you can find this in your data book. Can you get hold of this in your data book?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I found it.
Okay, I hope everyone has got it. Okay. So at this we find the properties. Okay, what we have taken, you can take nu, that is the kinematic viscosity, or you can take density and mu, that is also fine. You know the Prandtl number value here 0.696, and the K value. I urge you to note it down because it's also your assignment problem. So you can kind of finish your assignment, one of the assignment problems. I hope everyone is noting down. Yes.
Yes, sir, of course.
Okay. So these are the properties. I hope till now there is no doubt in this, right? First thing is we found out it is free or natural convection. Okay, we found this is for a vertical rod, and the temperatures are already given. From that we found the film temperature, and from that using the data book we have found these properties. I hope it is clear till now. Yes. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, then fine. So we find the Grashof number here, because for natural convection, the Grashof number and Prandtl number are the important parameters. So if you don't know what number to find, what you do is, you know it's free convection, right? So you open your data book, go to convection, contents of convection, go to free convection in that, and see what numbers are appearing there. Okay, or for the correlations given, what numbers range is required. So generally for free convection we require the Grashof number and Prandtl number. Okay, so we find the Grashof number, which is given as g into beta L cube delta t by nu square, where g is the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, this is nothing but this is the buoyancy force, this is the viscous force. Okay, beta is nothing but the volumetric coefficient of expansion. So generally for fluids we take beta as 1 by the film temperature in Kelvin. Okay, so it's important here that TF has to be in Kelvin when you are finding beta value. So TF is in Kelvin. Okay, for other fluids or other liquids, actually the beta values are given in the property values. Okay, or there is separate beta value table for other liquids like water and all. The beta values are separately given. But for air, being an ideal gas, this approximation can be made that beta is nothing but 1 by the film temperature in Kelvin. Okay, so L is nothing but the characteristic length, as it is a vertical rod, it is the length of the rod, and delta T is nothing but the temperature difference between the surface and ambient, that is 100 minus 20, right? Okay, and the viscosity value, that is the kinematic viscosity value, we have already found from the data book. It's given by this value 18.97 into 10 raised to minus 6. It's given here. If you found density and mu, you can also use that to find kinematic viscosity. Anything is fine. So once we got all these, we plug in the G value. The beta value is nothing but 1 by the film temperature in Kelvin. It's important to take it in Kelvin. It's only for air. For others, the beta values are separately given in data book again. Okay. The length is the characteristic length into the temperature difference and the kinematic viscosity square. So from this we get our Grashof number value. I hope you get this value. You can calculate and check. I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong. So please check. Okay. So now we have to find the Grashof number and Prandtl number ratio. Okay.
Sir,
Yes. Go. Yes.
so you said that for the air, beta will be 1 by TF, no sir?
Yes.
And for other liquids such as water and other things, how could we find the beta, sir?
They are given in data book in some other table. You want me to specifically tell the page number? I think I will put it in your group later. Otherwise,
Okay, sir. Please put it.
Otherwise, at the end of the class, I will look into the data book and tell you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So
Sir, where we have to take the Prandtl number, sir?
it's here only, right, brother? It's in the properties table. See, this is your Prandtl number. If you go top, this is Prandtl number, right? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
it's
sir.
given. In case Prandtl number is not given, you can find it from mu Cp and K. Prandtl number is nothing but mu Cp by K.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have mu here, you have Cp values, you can use K values and get that. Okay, in case it's not given, mostly Prandtl number will be given in the properties. Okay, so we find the GRPR ratio.
So
So we kind of
remember the
yes.
Grashof number formula. So if we
Yes.
couldn't remember the Grashof, number formula, where can we find it in the data book, sir?
I think in the correlation itself you will find it that
Yes, sir. In the
Okay.
free convection, it is given, sir.
we'll go to that. I'll show you.
Okay,
But
okay.
actually, you should
Yeah.
get hold of the formula. In case not, you can use the data book. I don't know how they permit the data book, how limited the data book is permitted in your exams. So better
Okay.
to get hold of the idea of the Grashof number. Anyway, it will be there. We'll look into. So
Okay.
we kind of got the Grashof number, Prandtl number value. Okay, so what we kind of do is it is greater than 10 power 9. I have written it for some reason. We'll look into the reason now. Okay, so we know that flow is turbulent because this is greater than 10. So you go to your free or natural convection in your data book, go to the contents page. Under convection, you look for free or natural convection, right? And how is the geometry of our surface? It's a vertical rod, right? True. And you know the GRPR value. Okay, forget whether it's turbulent or not, but you know the range, right? It is greater than 10 power 9 or whatever value you have. It is 1.231 into 10 power 11. So if you look into the data book of 6th edition, so this correlation is given. Okay, apart from this, the Grashof number will be given somewhere before this also. How to find the Grashof number? Someone asked, right? You can find it there in the data book, how to find the Grashof number. So this is a correlation we can use to formulate to find the Nusselt number. Okay, so if you don't know which dimensionless numbers to be found, you can do the problem other way around, right? You know that it's free convection, you know it's vertical surface. You kind of go into the data book, see what are the numbers required to found for it to be used. So once you know the Grashof number and Prandtl number value, you go to the particular page in data book. I think you can use a contents page. Look for convection. Under convection, we know it's free convection. Under free convection, we know it's vertical surface. And you have the Grashof number, Prandtl number value.
Why
So,
did we
yes.
take the turbulent flow?
Yeah, generally Grashof number greater than 10 power 9 is termed as turbulent flow. You forget
Okay.
about turbulent flow. Okay, you know that this value is greater than 10 power 9, right? We have got 1.231 into 10 power 11, right?
Yes, sir, of course it is.
So under free and natural convection and for vertical surfaces, there will be multiple correlations actually. Okay, but depending upon the GRPR value, you have to see where it falls. So you look, your GRPR value is falling well within this correlation, right? So you can use even the first or second correlation, whichever you're convenient, and also look onto the left hand side. This is applicable for both constant heat flux and constant wall temperature. So our numerical was constant wall temperature, right? Sometimes some correlations will be only applicable to one of the boundary condition, either constant heat or constant wall. But this correlation is applicable to both, right? So you can use this correlation. We are using this, the first correlation here. You can either use this one also. There is no such rule that you have to stick to this one. You can use even this correlation. But as it is said, it's more popularly used. So I have taken this one. Okay. So is it clear till now? Any doubts?
Sir, can you once scroll up? I'm noting down. Please.
Yeah, fine. I can scroll up. Is it fine here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please use your data book so that you learn. Please go through that correlation. Could you get hold of the correlation in your data books, whichever edition you are using?
Yes,
Or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir.
I urge everyone to please go through your
Sir,
data
hold
book
on.
and maybe whatever edition it is, you know it's under convection, free convection, vertical surface, and depending upon the value of your GRPR.
Sir, I'm done with writing this.
Okay, fine. So
Sir,
yes,
we are finding the to find the which flow we have. We are finding the Nusselt number and Reynolds number. No, sir.
we are finding GRPR. See, we are
Sir,
finding the
Grashof number.
Prandtl number ratio. So we know that depending upon the Grashof number, Prandtl number ratio, this is falling in our range, right? Ours is 10 power 11. So we can
Yes, sir.
use any of this correlation, right? So it will be under vertical surface and you know it's applicable for both constant heat flux and constant water temperature. Okay,
Yes, sir.
can you find the correlation in your data book?
Yes, sir.
Okay, don't directly go from the contents page, it will help you. Okay, so now we know which correlation to use, so we use that correlation. So one more point to be noted, this is the local or Nusselt number at a given location. It is not the average Nusselt number. Okay, the average Nusselt number can be used finding this correlation. The average Nusselt number is nothing but 5/4 times of the local Nusselt number. Okay, so first we'll try to find the local Nusselt number given by this correlation. Okay, so we use the correlation here. We know that NUX is nothing but 0.1 of GRPR raised to 0.333. So if you plug in the value of GRPR, you will get local Nusselt number as 493.2, right? So, but the average Nusselt number is given as 5/4 times of the local Nusselt number as given in the data book. So we will get a value of 616.5. It has no dimensions. It's a dimensionless number. But we also know that Nusselt number is nothing but Nusselt number is equivalent to HL by K. L here is the characteristic length. Okay, because it's vertical, it is equivalent to the length. If it was horizontal, it will become the diameter of the tube. Okay, it is across which the heat transfer is taking place, the characteristic length along which the heat transfer is taking place. So from this we can find the value of H, right? We have average Nusselt number, we know the K value from the data of air at 60 degrees centigrade. The length of the vertical rod is given. So we find H value, which is about 5.95 watts per meters Kelvin. It's nothing but Nusselt number into the thermal conductivity of air at 60 by the length of the vertical rod. Okay. So what we have found it using empirical correlation. The second step is to find it using the experimental value. We have been given the heater input, right? We know the heater input, we know the temperatures of the surface and temperature of the ambient. So the heater input was nothing but that should be equivalent to QE should be equivalent to H average into surface area into delta T. This is nothing but this is the Newton's law of cooling, which gives Q is equivalent to the heat transfer coefficient into the surface area into surface minus ambient temperature difference. So we know the Q value based upon the heater input, that is V into I, which was equivalent to 750. I think some 250 and 3 were the values given for this. So from that we get Q equal to 750, and H we have to find here again. Pi dl is nothing but the surface area of the vertical rod. The diameter is given, the length is given, the surface and ambient temperature given. From this you can find the value of H. H is nothing but 750 divided by pi dl into 100 minus 20, right? So that kind of gives you the value of H. Okay, so the value of H we obtain here is 5 watts per meter square Kelvin from the experimental data. Okay, and from the correlation we have obtained about some 5.95, right? Okay,
Sir,
this was what we obtained. Yes,
sir, here, how have you taken
Yes.
K value, sir?
Where K value? Here.
Uh,
This is properties of air at 60 degrees centigrade, right? K value 0.02896, K value 0.02896, right? Is it clear?
okay, sir.
Okay, is it clear? Here we are taking the values at 60 degrees centigrade at the film temperature. So the K value is known to us here, 0.02896. Length is also given, diameter is also given. Length is 3 meters, diameter is 20 centimeters. You have to take care of converting them to proper units. Okay, and your heater input is also given, so you know the Q value. From that we have found the experimental H value, right? Here, right? Q is nothing but HA delta T. So from that, and here in the Nusselt number correlation we already know K and L, so we could find it using the empirical correlation. So is it clear? Any doubts in this one?
Sir,
Yes.
in page number 140 direct the correlation is given, no sir, instead of Nusselt number finding.
Yeah, what is the correlation? It will be into L by K, right?
No, sir. 1.31 into delta T whole power 0.33. Sir.
I didn't get you. Which page number?
140, sir.
Is this sixth edition or which edition you're talking?
Sixth edition only.
140. Let me go to it.
7.2, sir, that one.
Let me look at the correlation, what you're talking about. Where is the correlation? Which one you're saying?
Calculate, sir. ERPR is greater than 10 power 9.
Simplified. These are very simplified correlations, right?
Simplified expression for convection heat transfer.
Yes, sir. Instead of finding Nusselt number and that, we can find directly use this.
Yeah, but we don't use this correlation because the error may be even high. Right? These are very simplified correlations. We don't use a
Sir,
simplified
but we are
correlations.
getting the answer of near to the value, sir. 5.56 we got.
Whatever it is, but this is very simplified correlation. If you use this, this doesn't make sense, right? If you don't have much data, then you can use this correlation, right? If you don't know what are the properties, if you don't know other things, then you can use this correlation. Don't go for the simplified correlations. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in case of this natural and free convention, we used Grashof number and Prandtl number also. If in case in forced convection, which numbers are?
You find Reynolds number, right? You see the correlations, you will come across Reynolds number there, right? You will come across Reynolds number in forced convection. You find Reynolds number range, see which correlation is applicable. Reynolds number and Prandtl number range. There will be separate Reynolds number and Prandtl number range given. Using that, you find that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I urge you not to use the simplified correlations. Use these correlations. There's nothing complex in it. Once you get the Nusselt number, you can use the HL by K formula to get H value. Okay. Is it clear? Yes.
It is clear, sir.
Okay. Don't go for the simplified expression. If maybe you are writing an exam without a data book, you can remember that formula. You're getting my point? Which is simple to remember and write. Once you have the data book. Yes.
Sir, regarding the HT lab, could you please provide the results of the experiment, sir, based on the readings you have given? We'll compare it with the readings what we have got.
I'm not sure because I don't have the books with me right now. I don't have the manuals with me. Okay.
So how to make sure that we have got the correct values, sir, then?
See, that's what I'm saying. You compare your experimental and theoretical values. It may be far. You just have to ensure that you've done the procedure right. Don't worry about the numerical values. Convert them to proper units. That is the first thing. And look at the procedure you're doing. Okay. If you're procedure wise you're right, and if you converted all the units, you should get the proper answers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And most of the problems you are comparing them with you have to find the values theoretically and also experimentally.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's not mix with this one now. So we'll continue this part and we'll try to finish this. So this is
Sir,
similar to what you know.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
So for the lab external exam, are we allowed to bring the data book, sir? So what might be the procedure in the lab?
You bring the data books along with you. If they don't permit, they may give their own data books. If they permit, you can use your own data books, but you carry them with you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
sir.
You can have the hard copy of data book. I think hard copy will be allowed in a lab exam, because if they don't provide, you may have to use your own data books. Okay.
So
It's clear.
are you aware of the procedure, sir, like a lab exam procedure?
Yeah, I think you will take that at the end of this session. Okay. If you have any other doubts concerning to lab, we will take this at the end of the session. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
So this is similar to your natural convection experiment. Yeah, I think if you follow this procedure, you should not go wrong in your calculations. Okay. There you find the average temperature. Yes.
So the question is about the free convection is about a vertical surface, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
That is.
in vertical surface we have taken the free convection chart, and then from that we need to get this Grashof number formula.
Yeah. Grashof number and Prandtl number ratio. Once you get Grashof number, Prandtl number ratio, you look for
Okay, sir.
whether what range it is falling. So here it is
Mm,
falling within this range, right? Here you see it's falling
yes, sir.
within this range, 10
Okay,
power 9 to 10 power 13. So either this correlation or this correlation you can use. As it
So
is more popularly used, we have
if it
taken the
is less
first one.
than if it is less than 10 to the power of 9, what will be the procedure, sir?
Just above this, there will be other correlations available in the in your data book. Okay, you have to scan where your Grashof Prandtl number range is falling. Maybe
Okay,
it is
sir.
less than 10 power 9. You have to look in your data book. Above it, I think there
It
will
will
be
be
laminar
laminar.
cases.
Yes,
It will be
laminar. Okay.
laminar cases. You check the range there. Okay,
Okay,
you
sir.
check whether it's falling in the range. You can use it.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Clarified.
Okay. I just cited the one required here because I think that would be difficult for me to put the entire data book here. Okay, so we kind of move to the second problem. I think this is also part of your assignment. I don't know, maybe question number 7. So what is given? So let's break the problem first again. So it's given that air at 20 degrees flows past a 800-meter long plate at a velocity of 45 meters per second. I think it should be horizontal plate here. The data is missing. So the velocity is given. If the plate is maintained at 300 degrees centigrade, determine the heat transferred from the entire length of the length to air, taking into consideration both laminar and turbulent portions of the boundary layer. So you have to consider both the portions of the boundary layer. And the second thing is the percentage error. The boundary layer is assumed to be turbulent nature from the very leading edge. Okay, it's turbulent from the very leading edge, and the critical Reynolds number value is given as 5 into 10 power 5. So what is given here? It's given that heat is being transferred from a plate which is 800 mm long to the air which is flowing at a velocity of 45 meters per second and is at a temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. So which mode of heat transfer it is? Yes?
Convection.
Convection, right? But it's force convection, right?
Convection.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there is air flowing at a velocity of 45 meters. Okay, so there is an external source kind of thing, or there is a flow of air. So this is force convection, right? So we kind of know what we are looking for. Under convection, we are looking for force convection, and under that you can go for flat plate. Okay, then you kind of see the correlations there. So, but we are supposed to find two things: the heat transfer from the entire plate length, considering that both laminar and turbulent portions are considered, and the second case only assuming that it is laminar right from the leading edge. Okay, so we assume that it's laminar right from the leading edge. So if you have boundary layer here, a boundary layer, you will have a velocity profile. Okay, we'll have kind of velocity profile here. So part of this may be laminar and the remaining may be turbulent. Okay, so the first case is asking to find considering both laminar and turbulent portions of the boundary layer. Okay, so near to this there will be a laminar layer, near to the wall there will be a laminar layer, and just above this it will be completely turbulent. So he is asking us to find the heat transfer for a case considering the sublaminar layer and the turbulent layer, and the second case neglecting the laminar layer and taking completely as turbulent. Okay, so these two cases we have to find the H values or the heat transfer values. So what is given? The velocity is given. The wall temperature of the plate is given, that is T surface or T wall is given as 300 degrees centigrade. The ambient temperature is given, the length is given. Okay, so this is a constant wall temperature problem. external flow. This is not internal flow, right? The flow is over a flat plate. It is not through a pipe or something. Okay. So we have kind of what? It's a external flow force convection problem. Okay. Is it true? Yes, because we have flat plate over which air is flowing at this velocity. So it's force convection, and it is not an internal flow. It is not confined by walls. The flow is not confined by walls. It is not flowing through a tube or duct. Okay. So the first step again we do is we find the film temperature, which is average of the wall or the surface temperature plus ambient divided by 2. Okay. So we have the film temperature as 160 degrees centigrade, and again here we have air as a fluid. So we go to the data book to page 33 for air. Okay, and look for the values. So what is the temperature we are looking for here? It's for 160 degrees centigrade. So at 160 degrees centigrade we find the property values. So at 160 these are the values given. Okay, so the correspondingly you can look what is what. So this is specific heat, thermoconductivity, Prandtl number, and so you can note down the values whatever you need according to the formulas you require for. Maybe you need viscosity, you need K value, you need Prandtl number value. Okay, so you note down that values at 160 degrees centigrade. So page 33 of 6th edition you can note down the following values. I noted down the kinematic viscosity, the K value, and Prandtl number. You can even note the density and mu and use to find kinematic viscosity. Okay. So what we do is we have to find Reynolds number as it is force convection thing. So I am finding Reynolds number. So Reynolds number can be given as density into velocity into the characteristic length divided by mu. Okay. But I am replacing that mu by nu. That is nothing but mu is nothing but what? Mu by rho. So the density are brought to denominator because I found the kinematic viscosity property directly. It is nothing but rho into velocity into characteristic length. Okay. If it is flow over a horizontal tube, the characteristic length will be diameter. As it is a flat plate, the length will be the length of the plate. Okay. And I have taken the density to the denominator. So mu by rho becomes nu. That is the kinematic viscosity. The velocity value is given as 45. The length is given as 800 mm. I am converting it to meters. Divided by the kinematic viscosity. I kind of get the value of the Reynolds number, that is 12 into 10 power 5. Okay. So it is greater than the critical Reynolds number, right? The critical Reynolds number was given as 5 into 10 power 5. So naturally the flow is turbulent, but however we are asked to find the heat transfer considering both laminar and turbulent region and also neglecting the laminar region in second part. So first what we got the film temperature. At the film temperature we evaluate the properties, and from that we find the Reynolds number. Okay. So now what we do? So first case we have to find for both laminar and turbulent flow over flat plate the Nusselt number correlation, right? So what we do, we go to convection, you go to force convection. Please use your data book. Go to convection, force convection. Under force convection look for flat plate. Okay, under flat plate you look for constant temperature one, and in that look for a correlation which is for the laminar and turbulent flow region. It considers both laminar and turbulent boundary layer. Okay, I guess it is on page 114 of your data book of 6th edition. See, you see this correlation here on page 114, 1.52. Okay, so this is for constant wall temperature, right? Our case was constant wall temperature. So this is for constant wall temperature, and it is considering both the laminate and turbulent cases, right? So this is the correlation we are looking for the first problem. Yes. Okay, so what is the correlation given? The correlation is given as Nusselt number equal to this thing. Okay, and it's applicable for this range. Check we are falling on this range or not, whether your Prandtl number satisfies this or not, whether your Reynolds number satisfies this or not. Then you can use this correlation. This is for forced convection, flat plate for both laminar and turbulent under constant wall temperature condition. So we kind of found the correlation to be used. So we'll use this correlation. We already have the Reynolds number value. We have the Prandtl number value from the data book. Okay, if you have not noted, I ask you to note down the properties here. The K value, Prandtl number value, kinematic viscosity value. Okay, so have you noted these values? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So can you just scroll
up to note the values, or you want to look at the data book?
Not data book, sir.
Okay, this one.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
I think this is just the first thing we do is we try to draw it through using a picture. It will solve half of your problem. You know what is the case. You know it's forced convection because of flow. You know what is the data available. You know what geometry you are looking for and all that. Okay. So I hope you have noted the properties also. So we find Reynolds number after that. Okay. So once we found the Reynolds number for the first case, he is asking us to consider both laminar and turbulent boundary layer. So use your data book under convection, forced convection, flat plate. You look for the constant wall temperature, but this is the constant wall temperature case, and we are considering both laminar and turbulent. So we kind of get hold of the correlation to be used, right? So use this correlation and get the value of Nusselt number. Okay. So Prandtl power raised to 0.33 into 0.37 into Reynolds number raised to 0.8 minus 871. I guess this value should fall around this value, 1611.14. And once you get Nusselt number, you can find the H value, right? Nu is nothing but HL by K. Okay. Here L is a characteristic length again. The 800 mm converted to proper units. So once we get Nusselt number, we find the H value. The H value is given as Nu into K by L. K value we have noted for air at 160. The length we know. So if we plug in all the values, we'll get the average heat transfer coefficient. Okay. So once we get H, we are actually supposed to find the rate of heat transfer, right? So Q is nothing but HA delta T, right? So H is the surface area. We assume a unit area in the other direction, okay, perpendicular to the paper. So we take it as 0.8 into 1. Okay, we are taking a unit area because the data is not given. Or you can find it for unit length. Either Q can be also found for unit length, that is dividing this by the other dimension which is not given into the temperature difference.
Can't we take both as one, sir?
This is given 800 mm, right? How can you take it one? This is given as
sir.
800.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything is not given, we can take it one, no, sir.
What you're saying?
If any data is not given about the dimensions, then we can take area as one, no, sir.
Yeah, you can take it as one. But here, I think this length is given, right?
800 mm is
Yes,
given.
sir. 800 mm it is given.
That is given. Perpendicular to the paper, you can take 1 unit, right? Or you can find the Q value per unit meter. Anything is fine. Okay. So using that, we get Nusselt number. From Nusselt number, we kind of use Q equal to HA delta T. You can take it as 1 and remove this meter part here, or you can write it as Q prime and write meter part here, whichever is fine to you. So you can take it as 1, and Ts minus T infinity is nothing but 300 minus 20, 280. So from this we get the Q value. Okay. So similarly, for the second case, they are asking us to find, assuming it's completely turbulent. Okay. So what I found is this page 113 is missing in your data book, the soft copy. If is anyone having a hard copy, you can find the correlation in that. Assuming it to be completely turbulent. Okay, so I'm just showing you the correlation which so this is the correlation we use, assuming it to be completely turbulent. So from this we again get the value of H, and from this you can find Q again and compare what is the percentage error. Okay. So So we have found Q here and H here. We are finding H again, assuming it to be fully turbulent. So this is the correlation we use. From that we find H again using Nu into K by L. K is thermal conductivity, L is the length of the flat plate. Okay. So from this you can find Q again, right? I haven't done it here.
Yes, sir.
You can find Q again and compare the Q or whatever error, percentage error you are getting. Okay. So we kind of go to and last example, and we'll stop after this. So
Sir.
look at the problem. Yes.
Shall we note down, sir? The
You
up
want to
one.
note down? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let me scroll up. Okay, I haven't finished here. You have to find Q again using this H value
Okay, sir.
and compare the Q,
Sir,
the
please show
earlier
one
Q.
before.
You
Scroll up,
compare
sir.
the earlier Q. Okay. You
Scroll
can
up.
find Q again here using this problem. You want me to
Sir.
scroll more? Is it fine?
Yes, sir. Scroll more, sir.
Okay, this correlation.
Sir, even more.
Even
Please
more.
hold on, sir.
Where you are? Reynolds number calculation.
Even more, sir.
Where were you till now?
Sir,
This
you
is-
said
you will be sending this document, no?
Will you send
If
this
you
document, sir?
yeah, see, actually, this is part of your assignment. So I want only people who have attended to get benefit
Okay,
of
sir.
it. I will,
Sir, scroll
I'll
down,
send-
sir. This one is
you can
over.
you can note it down. Actually, this is over, right?
Down, down. I mean,
Yeah. I'm scrolling down.
yes. This calculation, this particular.
Reynolds number.
Yes, sir.
Could you explain how to calculate the time of death? No, sir.
What?
Actually,
You
there is
want me to solve the entire assignment for you?
no, sir. Just explain.
Sir, could you extend time for assignment, sir?
I think today is the deadline, right?
No, sir.
But
What
in
is there
Canvas,
to
it is tomorrow, sir.
What?
Tomorrow,
But
sir.
in,
14th.
but in Canvas, it is showing that the end time is tomorrow.
No, I think today is the end time. You can check actually.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Could you
sir. Today
extend?
is the deadline for the assignment,
Stay.
and tomorrow is the deadline for submitting records, sir.
Is it so? I have to check that which is what. But whatever it is, see, you try to finish it there early, you will be free. See, almost we solved the two numericals here. First two numericals are very simple: composite slab and composite cylinder. The last one is heat exchangers. You just have to draw and write the classification of heat exchangers. Other than that, I think one fin problem and one transit heat conduction problem is there, right?
Yes, sir.
The transient heat conduction is nothing. It's a simple correlation. The temperature difference will be given by the E power minus, depending upon Biot number. There is just you have to use a formula and plug it there. There is nothing special in that problem actually. I hope you have noted this down.
Yes, sir. Please scroll down.
Yeah, this is the correlation for the laminar turbulent region. That is the first part of the question. You may note it down and scroll up. Okay.
So,
Okay. Then from that we find the H value.
Sir,
Yes.
in place of T infinite 20 degrees, we have to take now, sir. 280, you can.
This Ts minus T infinity 300 minus 20. Right?
Oh, okay.
The wall temperature or surface temperature minus ambient. This has to be delta T. This is the potential for heat transfer. Delta T is the potential for heat transfer. It can't be T. It has to be delta T. Ts minus T infinity. 300 minus 20. So you have to have some sense of it. Okay. You
So
just
after
don't
this-
copy it. Yeah. So in that we assume it to be entirely turbulent, and we take this correlation.
So, and before problem, we have both laminar and turbulent. And
Oh, that was
Okay,
fully
so-
turbulent. That was only turbulent, right? In that question, they didn't ask anything. We found the range, and according to the range, we found it to be turbulent. The GRPR value greater than 10 power 9, and we use that particular correlation.
oh, yes, sir.
Okay, depending upon the GRPR value, we will use that correlation. Okay, so we plug in these values, we get this
So
H
one
value.
minute.
From this, you have again how to find the Q. I haven't done that part here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
24.23 we got, sir.
24.23. What was the earlier value?
Earlier value is 16 point something, sir. For the
Okay.
previous
From, you can, so you can find the percentage error.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Wait,
shall we move to the next?
1 minute.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, so we'll move to the next numerical. I think this is the last. After this, we'll kind of stop. So what is given is water at 20 degrees centigrade with a flow rate of 0.015 kgs per second enters a 2.5 centimeter diameter tube. Okay, so it's entering a tube which is maintained at a uniform temperature, that is constant temperature of 90 degrees centigrade. Assuming hydrodynamically and thermally fully developed flow, determine the heat transfer coefficient and the tube length. So what we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the H value, that is the heat transfer coefficient value. Okay. And also the tube length required to heat water to 70 degrees centigrade. So what we have? So water is entering at 20 degrees centigrade, it's coming out at 70 degrees centigrade, and the tube is maintained at 90 degrees centigrade, and the tube dimension is given, only the diameter is given, the length of the tube is not given, and the flow rate of water entering is given, right? So this is the data given. So this is what, under which thing it comes down?
Internal for convection.
Internal convection, okay? Internal convection, okay? Convection internal flows, because it's within the tube and there's a flow and heat is transferred from the wall of the tube, water which is entering. So we kind of sketch it. So what we have at hand? So we have a tube whose diameter is given. The diameter is 2.5 centimeters. The inlet temperature of water is given. The outlet temperature of water is given. The TW value is given. The mass flow rate is given. The length is unknown. You have to find H, right? So what we are looking for? We are looking for forced convection, flow through a pipe, that is internal flow, and constant wall temperature. Okay. So for flow through pipe problems, the Nusselt number is generally constant if the flow is laminar. Okay. I just wrote this point because our case it is laminar. Okay. So first thing is we look for water properties. I think it's on page 21. Okay, so we find it at the inlet conditions, fluid properties with respect to the surface and all. So I think here is 45. Okay, so there is something we were to discuss here. Okay, you see here in data book the values are given at 40 and 60 only, right? But we are supposed to find the property set 45. Okay, this is T in plus T out. This is not T surface, this is wrong. Okay, this is T out. So this has to be 45 at 45, but we have only at 40 and 60. So how do we find at 45? Yes?
Interpolation.
You have to do the linear interpolation. So I am not going to teach you interpolation here. So I hope you know how to do interpolation. If not, please refer to your basic textbooks on mathematics, how to do interpolation. I think from that you can find the properties of water. Okay. So one more thing I want to share is, suppose this value is somewhat 42. Suppose the film temperature was 42 and you don't have time in your exam. You can take the values which are nearer. Suppose this was 42, I can take values at 40 degrees. Okay. I can take values at 40 degrees in case I don't have time in exam to interpolate, or this value is very close to the given values in data book. I can use that value. Suppose it was some 41 or 42. I have taken the values at 40. Suppose it is 58, I can take the values at 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, in case you don't have time to interpolate and the value is close. If the value is not close, please don't do it. Suppose it was 50, you have to interpolate. If it is 50, the interpolation is very easy, right? It will be the average value here. So this is for water, because water is the working fluid given in our case, which is entering the tube. So we kind of find all the properties, right? The K values are given, the kinematic viscosity is given here, and rho is given. If you want mu, you can find from the kinematic viscosity. You know that kinematic viscosity is nothing but dynamic viscosity divided by density. From this you can find mu value if required, or vice versa. I hope you have noted down this. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we kind of move. So what is the first step? We have to find the Reynolds number, because it's forced convection. Reynolds number is nothing but it's given as either by rho Vd by mu or mu d by nu, or if in terms of mass flow rates, the Reynolds number is given as 4m by pi d mu, right? This is how we give the Reynolds number. The mass flow rate is given as it is internal flow through a pipe, right?
Okay, sir.
It is flow through a pipe inside.
Okay,
That is
sir.
what we have written here, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we try to write here, right? Forced convection, flow through pipe, internal flow, and constant wall temperature. We have to
I
look
got
for
it, sir.
correlation. We have to look correlation according to this. Forced convection, flow
Internal
through
flow.
pipe. You also know the geometry, right? It is circular, that is tube. Okay? And it's constant wall temperature. And you have to find your Reynolds number to know which correlation to use. So we kind of get the correlation here of the Reynolds number value. So you know this is less than 2300. This is laminar. Okay, Reynolds number less than 2300 for internal flow is considered to be laminar. Okay, so you go to your data book again. Forced convection, internal flow, tubes, laminar, Reynolds number less than 2300, and the constant wall temperature. So this is also important. Some correlations may be specifically for either for constant wall temperature or constant heat flux. Some may be applicable to both conditions, like we have seen in our earlier case. Okay, so but here for constant wall temperature and constant heat flux, the conditions are different. Okay, so you have to be careful. You have to see the question, what is given. So in our question, the wall is maintained at 90 degrees centigrade, right? Where is that? Yeah, the wall is maintained at 90 degrees centigrade, uniform temperature. So we kind of have to look at correlation for constant temperature thing. Okay, so you go to page number 123, 1.2.2 on 6th edition. You find for laminar condition, because your Reynolds number is less than 2300 and we are assuming a fully developed thermal layer, or it's already given in the question. If not, you can make the assumption and use the correlation. So Nusselt number value is given as a constant, right? This is what I tried to write in the beginning of the problem, right? So for flow through pipe problems, the Nusselt number is a constant if the flow is laminar. Even for a constant heat flux, it will be a constant value actually. This is for constant wall temperature, right? So we know the Nusselt number value here. From this, we can get the H value. Here, the diameter of the tube will be your characteristic length, okay? Because it's flowing through the tube. So you plug in the values, you know the K value, you know the D value. I think from that you can find H, right? So H is about 93.4 watts per meter square Kelvin. Okay. So apart from that, we can also find the Q, that is the heat transferred using MCP delta T, the correlation of MCP delta T. You know the mass flow rate, the CP value you can find at the mean temperature of the fluid, that is T in plus T out by 2. There you can find the CP values from the water table. Okay, and the T out and T in values are given for the tube 70 and 20. So from this we can find Q, right? Using a steady state approximation, we can find Q. We are assuming that steady state, there is no heat loss to surroundings. So the total heat is transferred to the fluid. Whatever heat is given by the surface, it is absorbed by the fluid. So Q can be given as MCP delta T. So we can get Q out of this one, that is 3135. Okay. So what we do next is we have to find the length, right? The length required to make the fluid reach 70 degrees centigrade, which is entering at a given mass flow rate and 20 degrees centigrade, it should reach 70 degrees centigrade. So we know H, we know Q. Can we find length? Yes. Can we find length from this? We know Q, we know H. What is Newton's law of cooling? Newton's law of cooling, Q is nothing but HA delta T, right?
HL delta T.
Okay, so but here your delta T will be the log mean temperature difference. So you have to use Q equal to HA delta T, as the air will keep varying its temperature along the length. You can't take a mean value at any instance. So we go for a log mean temperature difference. Okay, so how do we find the log mean temperature difference? The difference, that is the greater difference, and the lower difference between those two divided by the logarithm of that. That will give the LMTD, and the surface area is nothing but pi dl, and the d has to be the inner diameter, right? Because the flow is taking inside. Okay, and L is not given. That is what we are supposed to find. For that, first we have to find your log mean temperature difference value. Okay, so the log mean temperature difference value is given as nothing but the temperature difference at the inlet between the fluid and the surface, which is the greater temperature difference. As it enters, the temperature difference will be high, and as water gains heat, the temperature difference gets reduced because it's a constant temperature wall. Okay, the tube is maintained at a constant temperature. So we kind of get your GTD and LTD values, that is the greater temperature difference and the lower temperature difference values. But in heat exchanger, you will have two fluids there. Okay, one will be cold fluid, the other will be hot fluid. Here you have a wall and a. So we find log mean temperature difference. It is about 39, and we know that Q is nothing but HA delta T, and here the area is given by pi dl. D is the inner diameter because the flow is happening internally. Okay, and we already found the Q and H values. Q value we have found using the MCP delta T correlation. H value we have found using the Nusselt correlation. For laminar case, it is 3.66 for constant wall temperature, right? So from that you can find the length, right? We can find the length. Q is nothing but HA delta T. You plug in all the values and find the length. So the length is about 10.71 meters. Okay.
Sir, can I move up, sir?
Yeah, sure. It's fine here, or shall I move more?
No, sir, one page down.
Move up. Down or up?
Down, sir.
Down. Here, further down.
Further down, sir.
Okay. So is it clear? I hope you must have had a hang of how to use the data book, right? So the first important parameter is you should read the question very carefully. Once you read the question, try to depict it using a picture. You will solve half of the problem. You'll come to know what kind of geometry it is, what kind of mode of heat transfer it is, and under convection whether it's forced or free convection, and you can tell whether it's internal or external. Okay, and you write all the temperature values there and find the respective properties, and look directly go to the heat transfer data book and check under that which dimensionless numbers you have to find for that correlations to be used. If it's free convection, obviously you can see that the GRPR range is given, so you have to find the Grashof number and Prandtl number value there. Okay, so if it's
then it is less than 10 to the power of 9, it means the laminar. If it is greater, then
whatever range is. Sir, can you share this file? Sir, small request, post important formula. Yes, see, all formula are in your data book. All formulae will be in your data book, right from the thermal resistance to everything. All formulae will be in your data book. Every formula there will be in your data book. But I don't know why you haven't seen the data book till now. You're supposed to start looking into the data book right from the beginning of your e-transfer course. Okay, so regarding sharing this file, I think these 3 numericals I have given enough time to note down. I can share it after your assignment is done, because other people not even have attended the class. Okay, so you can submit the assignment, I can share it. I urge you to note down. I hope you might have noted down the problem. If not, you can take it from your friends.
So today is the last day for submissions.
Yes, today is the last date for submissions. I urge you to finish it early so you will be free.
At what time it will be in?
You can see the canvas.
So give some time.
Need time, sir.
Why do you need time? I don't get it. Already we have solved 2 numericals here. 2 remaining numericals are simple ones. That composite slab and all, you put the formula, you get that.
Lab manual, it is a bit harder to.
Today is festival, you are right. Tomorrow is also festival, but 15th is your external.
Submit, sir. Please extend up to after.
Yeah, I can't do that because I have to submit the internal marks before your lab external, right? Your lab external is scheduled on 15th.
One more day of time, sir.
Why do you need time? I'm not getting it. Your headache will be over, right? Today, if you finish, you can enjoy tomorrow, right? Why you want additional time? You are going. It is not any complex. It is not a complex numerical problem, right? I can understand if you require time for understanding and solving. Already we have solved 2 problems here, right? One is only theory question, heat exchangers. Remaining 2 are simple. Other 2 are also you just have to plug the formulas. I urge you to finish it today so that you will be free. There is no big deal in it. If you spend 2 hours, I think it will be done.
Okay.
Okay. There's no point in extending. It is headache for you also. There's no point in extending. Yes. Theory question is heat exchangers, I guess.
Yes. Types of heat exchangers, sir.
You can draw the diagrams and write the classification.
On the basis of a nature of the heat exchange process, relative direction of fluid motion, design and construction features, and physical state of fluids. That's it?
Yeah, whatever. You just draw them and explain what actually they mean and draw the pictures, okay, schematically, and explain what actually you mean by parallel flow, what is counter flow, what is like kind of cross flow in your own words, or you can use whatever material. It is open to you, right? It's assignment. It is not a test. You can use any number of test books to solve it. So I am urging you not to delay it because it's open kind of thing, right? You can use any book. It's open to you. I don't understand why do you need time additionally. It will take 2 hours hardly. You sit 2 hours, finish it, you will be done, right? You'll be free.
Sir,
from your end.
Just extend the time to 9 o'clock, sir. That's it.
Sir,
how about again
the lab manual, sir? Shall we take the printouts and write it, or
no need of taking printout. You can use them doc files given to you. You do hand calculations, scan them, and put them there.
Then how about the calculations, sir?
What?
Shall we do them on a paper?
Calculations you have to do, right? Calculations you have to do in paper. Take a snap of that, scan it, and put in the doc file. And
okay, sir, I got it.
As your roll number. Actually, I mentioned the instructions. Save the file name as your roll number. Save it as PDF. You just scan the hand calculations which you have done on a paper. Scan them and copy the picture or whatever and put it in the doc file. Save it as a PDF. You can write your roll number on the top of the file also, and the file name also you save it as.
Okay, yes. Sir. What I did is I've taken down the printout, sir. So I'm thinking to write that in the space given. Sample calculation space is given now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to write, do the calculations there and scan the whole PDF.
Whichever is comfortable you can do. Why do you scan the other things, right? You can just scan the calculations part. Why do you want to increase your work?
I've taken the printout. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, the printout is fine, but end of the day you have to submit the PDF only, right? Scan version.
Okay.
So
okay, sir.
Why do you scan the remaining things already which are there in there? Just scan the calculations part, right?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes, any doubts? So I hope you got a hang of how to use the data book. I urge you to do some examples on your own so that you kind of get physical with the data book. So the
Sir, one more doubt, sir, regarding our syllabus.
yes. What is that?
Sir, in the first unit, we only have introduction to the heat transfer. In the second unit, one-dimensional steady-state condition and transit and extended fins condition. And from the third unit, convection, heat transfer.
Convection. Okay.
For the only convection, we use the data book, sir.
Yeah, actually the other formulas will also be there, but I don't know how they permit here. I don't know the rules of your college, so I'm not aware. Because actually all other formulas will be there in data book. It is difficult to fail in heat transfer if you know how to use the data book, right?
Okay, sir.
NTU method problem. We have solved enough NTU method problems in the class. You can ask your friends if you haven't attended the class. Who is this?
Okay.
Roll number 325. Can you speak? Roll number 325.
Yes, sir.
We have solved already some examples on NTU method. I think we have solved 2 to 3 examples on NTU method, NTU effectiveness method in the class. I solved for both parallel flow, contour flow, and one contour flow where the condenser is given actually. Temperature is not varying or the C value is same, C equal to 1. Okay. So we have solved kind of 3 numericals on NTU effectiveness method and also on the LMTD approach. If you were absent for the class, you can correct the notes from your friends. Okay.
That day I am absent, sir. Sorry, sir.
So you can correct it from your friends. Okay. So what I can do is I'll kind of give some solved things I have in every unit. Whatever I have, I will pass on a soft copy to you maybe on 15th or 16th. Whenever I find time, I'll try to streamline everything. I have some solved examples, okay, from all the units. I'll share with you people. Will that be okay?
Sir, but share according to the sequence of the syllabus, sir.
You want me to share, like arrange them and share, or what?
Yes, sir. Not like that, sir. One of the
okay. I will do. I will at least write the title.
I
will write the title there, right? You need not worry. I will write the file name according to the title.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So whatever I have, I will look into that. Whatever I can provide to you, I will give you the numericals. But I don't know how your exam pattern is, whether the questions will appear in like exam or not. I don't know anything about.
So we have 8 questions. From the 8 questions, we need to attempt 5 questions.
Okay, I don't know about any of this.
Each question carries 14 marks, so 14 5s are 70.
Yeah, actually, I kind of got some old question papers from the department yesterday, but I think the pattern is completely different from what you are saying. Maybe it was for old batches. So I will pass that question papers also.
After the pandemic, the paper pattern is changed, sir. Earlier,
so what I will do is
only 2 hours.
Okay, what I will do is I will share these earlier question papers and these numericals with you guys, maybe 16th or 17th.
Yes, after the lab session,
whenever I can compile, I will compile them. I'll give it to you guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shall we stop here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Okay, bye. Yes, any doubts?
Please conduct the sessions like this in the future also, sir. I mean, before the examinations, it would be very helpful to solve our doubts.
See, I will give you this material. Whatever material I have, I will give you. In case you have any problem, you are not able to understand from that material also, then we will have a session. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Because I think it's self-explanatory. It's not that difficult. Only thing is you should apply your common sense. If you can apply your common sense and data book, I think you can easily get well through heat transfer course. Okay. So I hope whoever is absent, you help your friends. I hope you can help your
friends. Sir.
Yes, what?
Share this file.
I'll share this after your assignment due date is over.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because I hope you are noted in this down, right? Because I have given ample time. I don't mind sharing it. I don't have any problem.
Yes,
Even
sir.
we try to solve 2 assignment problems only. I thought it will be helpful for you. Okay. You please help your friends to get a better understanding of data book and all. You whatever you learned here, you please pass on this to your friends. Okay. I think the strength is very low. Only 40 odd people are there. So hopefully others are missing on this. So hopefully if you can share this with your friends, it will be helpful for them. I hope you guys can do that. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. This yes is very slow. Okay. Chalo then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Okay,
sir.
then
Thank
we
you.
will-
Happy
Yes.
Pongal.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Happy
much,
Pongal
sir.
to all of you. Okay.
Thank you, same to you, sir.
Happy Pongal, sir.
Happy Pongal. Happy Pongal. Okay. Chalo. Bye then. Bye everyone.
Bye, sir.
Bye.